The Scottish Government's Dynamic Coast project has identified a 40% increase in the extent of erosion and a doubling of the erosion rate to 1 metre per year across Scotland's erodible shores. This isn't just an issue of undermining buildings and infrastructure, but it has implications for current and future flood risk. Scotland's beaches and marshes protect £13 billion worth of assets, far more than the £5 billion worth protected by engineered sea walls. The stability of our soft, erodible coast is influenced by sea level, sediment supply, and wave climate. Concentrating on sea level, the Aberdeen tide gauge shows around 12 centimetres of sea level rise since 1900. And we expect an additional 30 to 90 centimetres of sea level rise within our children's lifetime, if emissions continue as they are at present. Our dynamic coast is using these latest projections to establish how rates and extensive erosion will change into the future and which of society's assets and communities are likely to be most at risk. Sediment supply is the lifeblood of our soft coasts, and it can be constrained and impacted by coastal defences and dredging. And whilst wave energy is the result of short-term weather, all three factors, sea level, sediment supply and wave climate, are acting together to make Scotland's coast change more than we're used to. Our research informs a growing need for adaptation planning to ensure Scotland's coastal communities, assets and infrastructure are more resilient. Some locations may require higher defences, but in many cases, adapting and building with nature will help Scotland remain resilient and contribute and continue to be a scenic and thriving place for future generations to come. We're working with local partners at Montrose, St Andrews and a range of other sites to identify future risks and consider how they can be avoided or managed as climate change increasingly affects them. We're using historic shoreline positions and wave data to model recent changes and then project them forward into the future. This numerical modelling will be complemented by time-lapse volumetric analysis of coastal changes, both in risk assessments, but also with our partners in shaping adaptation strategies. More information on coastal erosion in Scotland is available at dynamiccoast.com.